What's good, YouTube? It's Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with another video. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. If you want a t-shirt, you can message me on Facebook. I got different type of logos and images. You can get any color shirt, or you can change the logo on the shirt. Just message me on Facebook if you're interested. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Luol Deng, a guy that signed a contract that was massive. Some people thought he was going to be overrated and overpaid. Some people thought that he would live up to that contract. And after he signed the contract 2 years ago, now that we starting to see that, he did not live up to that contract, and he basically been collecting multi-millions of dollars from the LA Lakers for the last couple of seasons. One reason why I thought that it wasn't a good pickup was because they just drafted Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram was a guy that, was the second overall pick. You would think that he'd come in and get a lot of minutes, especially considering that they was going younger at that time and they were trying to rebuild. So you would think that they try to give him more playing time as being a number 2 pick, so he can come in and develop and get some experience while also being able to adjust to the game. You want to give him as much playing time as possible and let him get familiar with the game, considering that you're not trying to win games right now and you're not trying to make it to the playoffs. And to me, you draft a guy number 2 like that, I will believe that you will want to throw him into the fire and let him get some experience. And at the end of the day, I understand that they wanted to bring a guy that's a veteran to show him how to play the position, to show him how to defend and help his job be a lot easier. Because Luol Deng was an all-star. He was one of the better players in the Eastern Conference. He was a multi-all-star, actually. But you'll think that he'll be one of those guys that will help Brandon Ingram reach his potential faster, because he can break down the footage, he can study the game with him, he can show him in practice, and then you also have the development team and the coaching staff to help process Brandon Ingram. And I'm not saying that he didn't do none of these things while he was with Brandon Ingram. I'm saying that's the reason why I seen them getting a guy like Luol Deng for a 4-year, $72 million deal. I'm looking like, okay, they got Brandon Ingram. Maybe they can bring him along slowly. Maybe they can teach him how to win, how to be a professional, how to guard the small forwards, because his body wasn't ready. And Luol Deng was more of a slender small forward, even though he was a legitimate size. Height-wise, he wasn't as bulky when he came to the NBA, but now he's 6'9", 220. But he came off a year in Miami where he played 2 years there. 1 year he averaged 14 points, 46% from the field, 35 from 3, while also giving you 5 rebounds and 1.9 assists. His last year in Miami, which was the 15-16 season, he averaged 12.3 points, 45 from the field, 34 from 3. Still gave you around 6 rebounds and 2 assists a game, which is solid considering that he was only getting 32 minutes and he was not a focal point of the offense. He was a guy that came in and defended and gave him some depth at that wing position while also playing off the ball and just being a good defender when they needed him to be. Coming to the Lakers, I didn't expect much out of him, but 4 years, $72 million was a lot, considering that you really, really didn't need them. They really wasn't going to make the playoffs or win a championship. So I don't know why you give him 4 years guaranteed at that type of salary, knowing that your team is still in a rebuilding mode. And that's why a lot of people was going crazy about Luol Deng, because for him to make that much money coming off a season where he averaged 12 points and to get $72 million over 4 years where he'd be 35, 36 years old before the contract is over was kind of silly. And then you think about fast forward to right now, they didn't waive him or buy him out, or even, what I mean by buy out, I mean stretch provision, waive him and then stretch out his salary so it don't hurt you as much. The reason why they didn't do that is because they didn't need to. They was able to open up 2 max slots with Luol Deng still being on the roster, so they wasn't in a rush to get rid of him. And once his contract is over, he'll be aspiring come this season because his contract expires next year, and he's going to become even more valuable because people are going to be wanting to waive and get rid of contracts. And he's going to be one of the hottest deals. You get him for a couple million, and you can just waive him and get all that salary cap back, or just trade for him and let his contract expire, and then he comes off the books, and you got all that salary cap left. And the Lakers can keep him, so they can try to get that third guy or that third star to go around with LeBron James, because his contract is worth a lot. And if that does happen, then they're going to have a team that can compete in the West with the Warriors. Right now, I don't see the Lakers really competing with the Warriors, but we don't really know how much Brandon Ingram has improved. We don't know how much Kyle Kuzma has improved. And Lonzo Ball tore up his knee, so he hasn't even been able to really work out because he had to rehab. And we already know how great LeBron is. Bringing LeBron in helps them become a playoff team right now. Because how dominant and how versatile he is. Plus, his team is better than the Cavaliers team. That team was able to win 50, but they did play in the East, which the teams you playing against more bad teams compared to the West. But he does have an upgrade of talent. He's playing his best basketball at a certain first at. He's playing his best basketball right now, but not the best of his career, I should say. And that's kind of funny at the end of the day. But Luol Deng, he's going to be a coveted person. People, you're going to hear him in a lot of trade rumors and everything because his deal will be an expiring contract, and teams like to trade for those so they can get the salary cap, and then they like to give you contracts. So it's either Luol Deng is going to stay on this roster for the next 2 years, or they're going to trade him for a piece that's on a 2-3 year deal to help LeBron win right now. And they're going to have to eat that salary because Luol Deng will be expiring, so they would just be able to get that salary. So either they're going to use his contract to get that third star to go with LeBron, or they're going to use that to get the sixth man or that guy that can come in and can fill a hole for a contract that's expiring. So Luol Deng will have value if they don't stretch him. And if they don't buy him out, he will become a player that people is going to look forward to, not because he can still play, but because of his contract and the fact that it's going to be coming off the books for the Lakers or any team that trade for him. So look out for that. Another thing is Luol Deng, he was just so exhausted. Remember, Tom Thibodeau ran him into the ground, played him a load of minutes. His body just wasn't holding up. He didn't run as fast. He didn't look as good. Even in Miami, he just didn't. Even in Cleveland, I should say, because everybody thought when the Cleveland Cavaliers made that trade that it helped them get to the playoffs because they needed that wing person. He just didn't fit. He gave you 14 points on 41% from the field and 31 from three. He gave you 5 rebounds and 2.5 assists, but he just didn't fit. He just didn't seem right, and he just seemed like he was going to collapse. And at the end of the day, they let him walk, and he went to Miami. So at the end of the day, I don't know how much Luol Deng got left in the tank. Like I said, coming off that last season of Miami, he had a little bit left. And obviously the Lakers seen something that they liked, that they gave him a 4-year, multi-year deal of $72 million. So they had to see something, whether in that Miami stint or just as a veteran, as one of the better two-way players at that time that you can pick up. But considering that they're not even letting the guy play, like Luol Deng very rarely plays. I don't hear him getting angry. I don't see him getting frustrated. I don't see him getting mad. I don't see him whining about playing time. He has been a professional. He has went about his business, and you got to give him credit on that. But another thing is, he's probably still can give you double-digit points if he got valuable minutes. So I definitely want to see. They got more wing and guard depth now. I definitely want to see what they try to do with Luol Deng since they're not going to waive him. Stretch him. I kind of am curious of how his career going to play out, considering that he still had some left in the tank, not as much, but considering that he just sat on the bench for the last 2 years and collected a nice check, I wouldn't be complaining either if I was Luol Deng. But at the same time, you're in the NBA because you want to play basketball and you want to be a part of winning. The Lakers haven't been winning, and he hasn't been playing. So should he have went to a contender instead of going to the Lakers so he can at least, get a chance at a championship, get a chance as being a sixth man or a seventh or eighth guy? I can see teams like the Warriors, they picked up Matt Barnes. I'd rather have Luol Deng to a certain extent at that time. and now they had got Matt Barnes, and he ended up helping them win the championship. So it's a lot of teams like the Spurs, like the Thunder, these last couple years that could have used a guy like Luol Deng to do a marginal role, whether it was coming off the bench or being that glue guy that can get the passes, that can hit the threes, and play a good defense on some of the best players in the West. And even if you look at the East, it's a lot of teams that needed that small forward or that stretch four sometimes, because he can play the 3 or the 4 because he had that length and that speed. Um, he could have played the stretch four or even try to be better now because he can switch at the 2, 3, or the 4s, depending on the lineup and depending on the players that's out on the court. So considering that he does have a little value and he still has a little versatility because of his length and his size, you would think that teams would try to make a better deal at him, or he would have tried to find a way out of LA. And instead, he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been complaining. He hasn't been angry. He's just been accepting that, I play for the Lakers. I made this decision, and I'm just going to do what I can do to help this team win. And that's the right thing to do. But at the same time, you're not really playing. You're not really contributing, playing basketball. And it's kind of weird to see somebody not play at all, really, considering that he has some talent left. And we're going to see. The Lakers going to turn into a contender to a certain extent now because of LeBron. We'll see if they utilize him more this year, or we'll see if they just let him go after this season because he'll be an aspiring contract, and we'll see if they trade him for another piece or they just let him go and try to get somebody else in free agency that can take his spot after this season. So we'll see. Let me let me know what you guys feel about Luol Deng. Do you feel like this was stupid? Do you feel like he was a waste of a contract? Do you feel like he helped as being a professional and teaching the young kids, and he being a role model and a mentor to Brandon Ingram and other players like Kyle Kuzma, having him on the roster, teach him how to play defense, teach him how to play, because LeBron wasn't there until this year. We don't really know the impact that Luol Deng had on his team because we don't really hear much about him. Only thing, I don't even hear people complain about him on the bench. I don't really hear people complain about him anymore. It was just when he had signed the contract, I heard a lot about how people felt. Now it's like people don't even care or even know that Luol Deng is still on the roster. They honestly, and that's crazy that Luol Deng, the only time you hear him getting talked about is when they trying to clear space. Well, they have this Luol Deng contract. They need to get rid of this contract, but you never see them even attempt to get rid of it. And they said that they're trying to trade him. Who's going to want that contract if they're not getting picks or a good star in return? Who's going to really take this 2-year contract at this salary if you're not going to give us at least a potential project or prospect, or at least a first-round pick? If you're not giving me one of those others, you're going to keep Luol Deng. And I think that is the holdup. If they're not going to get rid of a real asset to get rid of this contract, then Luol Deng is going to stay. But as of right now, they've been able to open up that other max spot because a lot of their deals was 1-year deals, which means they're going to have cap space to sign another max free agent next year anyway, even if they keep Luol Deng on the roster. There's no incentive to rush to get rid of him. There's no incentive to, try to trade him right away if you're going to still be able to give LeBron James another star with or without trading or getting rid of Luol Deng. Hey, why give up a first-round pick or an asset for a guy that doesn't really even hurt us that much? And considering that everybody feel like the Warriors going to win this year anyway because they was able to acquire DeMarcus Cousins and still keep Iggy, KD, Clay, Steph, and Draymond, and even Sean Livingston and some of that bench. People feel like that's going to be a landslide. Why not try to fix everything up in 19 free agency and then try to make a run at the Warriors next year? I don't know what they're really going to do. All I know is it's kind of funny that nobody says or talk about Luol Deng at all at this point, and he's getting a nice check, and he's not even really playing at all, and you don't even hear about him at all. So I thought, hey, let me make a video because Luol Deng still is in the league. Luol Deng still can play to a certain extent, and instead he's collecting the Fed check, checking up the deuces as he's getting ready to retire, which is kind of hilarious. Check out my website, AnalysisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, AnalysisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. I'm Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about Luol Deng's career and his last 2 years in LA and him collecting that 4 year, $72 million check. And while doing really anything with the Lakers. And I don't think he's going to be playing this year either. So let me know.